Ristow. I'm here from On the Commons, and my colleague Anna is going to be part of this too. We had a great group discussion, some really, I think, diverse perspectives about land and the importance of land in this whole discussion. And we tried to come up with some innovations around what we could do right now to start moving more land into access, as well as looking at the longer term nature of this kind of work, which is really about shifting paradigm and shifting worldview about land and its importance and how we can care for it and have it held in more of a common and community sense. So we talked about both of those things.
In terms of some of the vision, I think we named that building community, building relationship, connecting to our land in different ways is both a slow process, one that really needs to be a lot of conversations about our history of who has land in this country, and at the same time, a process where we can learn from other communities who have had open lots and city-owned land and vacancies that have been returned to private ownership, and what are some things that we can do now to move more of that land into community trust, community ownership, so that we have that available for us for farming, for creating community, for sustainable development.
So we had the benefit of having folks in our group that were working on land trusts right now, and one of the things that came up in those discussions coming from other areas of the country are that there are mechanisms in place that can be built quickly to maintain land in community control. There was discussion about wanting to have a deep collaboration with the city and being able to work with them on their existing vacant lots. So there are a number of avenues. There are private pieces of land, there's city-owned land, there's right-of-way land. One person in the group also said we should be looking at larger institutional kinds of lots, church ground, golf courses, that kind of thing. So we had kind of a juicy conversation about the different kinds of land, and that we would, if we could continue working together, could build different mechanisms right now to think about how to start moving some of that land into community ownership and supporting urban agriculture. There were a couple of great comments. One person said that we'd like to see urban agriculture be a normal activity, normalized in our city, and that in order to do that we needed to have land. And another person also had a great phrase about to be basing our relationship with land more on a moral economy.
And just a few more things around some of the gaps and ways that we could move towards this more urban ag and farming and gardening being a more normal activity in a moral economy. One is to really start working on changing the perception that gardening and farming is a highest use for land, and so thinking of some creative ways to actually do that. One is to make it very clear. There's some good initiatives in other cities that make it very clear if this land is private, if this land is public, here's a handbook, here's some resources, here's how you would move it towards being a permanent space for gardening and activity. So kind of a step-by-step process, and one that's very transparent so that you can see what decisions are being made and why about different parcels of land. Another thing people said was having a central produce market, so a much larger public market that was owned by the public would be a great way to create this corridor and create the sustainable food growing that we need.
Evidently, we're the only city, one of the largest cities that does not have that. So.
Thank you.
And we have handouts that do give some resources that other parts of the country are doing around this, if anybody wants to look at that.